Let's go.
We're live over here. Are we live over there, Johan?
Yes, we're live.
That's good.
Live.
We are live. We are so live. Ladies and gentlemen, miners, gamers, dwarves, sous chefs, sommeliers, and gourmands, welcome to the GSG Friday stream. You're watching the only Twitch stream that doesn't receive direct funding from the Central Intelligence Agency. You're rocking with the bad boys at GSG today. We've got GSG Jakob, we've got GSG Aaron, we've got GSG Johan, we've got GSG Mark, and special guest, we've got Mike.
Hi, chat. What's up, Mike?
That was like no.
Oh, hi, Mark.
That was very like, laid back, Mike, compared to like the intro you got.
That's why they don't call him laid back Mike for nothing.
Wait, we call
They
him that?
did until today.
You do now.
Yeah, now we do. First of all, I'd like to start the stream by addressing Mike's allegation in the chat that I only ate 2.5 hamburgers for lunch. This is false. There were hamburgers for lunch at the GSG offices, and I, in keeping with tradition, had 3 of them. Somebody might say, Aaron, that's kind of a lot of hamburgers to eat for lunch. Number one, I'd say, didn't ask your opinion on it. Second of all, I was full after the first one, but I kept it up because I know that the first time I ever showed up on stream, I had 3 hamburgers and spent the whole time complaining about how my tummy hurt. And I figure, you know, DRG fans have been through a lot this week, and I couldn't fail them by eating anything less than 3 hamburgers. So,
Because it's what heroes do.
it's what heroes do, thank you.
Not all heroes wear capes.
But all heroes eat 3 hamburgers.
All heroes go to the caves, though.
I took 3 for the team.
Your sacrifice is much appreciated. Amazing.
And common to contrary belief, Rock Galactic is not dead. We're currently playing it.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
way.
would we be-
No way, dude.
Yeah, we've got at least 4 people playing it, so
Yeah.
Yes.
joke's on you.
Down we go.
Into the caves.
Diggy hole.
No, but chat, as the boys are drilling deep into Hoxes, I am here to answer any questions, whether about DRG or Rocore or anything else.
How about relationship advice? Do you give relationship advice?
I can. Take it with a grain of salt.
So, Mike, I actually have a relationship-related question.
Yeah.
So, the mother of my children says that Deep Rock Galactic, the game, is dead. Is that true?
I mean, the mother of your children is always right.
Oh, shit. It's not the answer I wanted.
Damn it.
Can I get a platform, please? I have short legs.
All right, we've got a great question here coming in from FIV7. All right, let me ask this on stream too. Since the biggest community complaint is that Rockpox is getting real stale, is there any chance that we have a GDRG go seasonless for a few months instead of a very long season 4? Yeah, that's, I think, definitely a big thing we've heard in the immediate wake of yesterday's announcements. Is everyone's like, fuck, Rockpox for 8 more months. Mike, what's the deal there?
The deal there is that, so we're very aware of this. We also don't want Rockbox to just be going for a year and a half. But like some of the things that have been talked about in the community, I've seen people writing the idea of going seasonless or stuff like that. That's not really on the table. We are, however, looking at how we can pretty much mitigate it, looking at the things that are kind of bothering people, because the thing you also to consider is that there are actually new players coming in all the time as well. So we want to find a solution that works kind of for veterans like yourselves, so that you kind of can opt out of the whole Rockbox theme a bit more than you currently can, while still having the seasons system function and run for new players. Actually, before I joined the stream today, I already started trying to make a plan for the upcoming maintenance update, and of course how we can tweak stuff to help here. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, again, the whole reason why we are delaying Season 5 so much is of course because we need to work on ROCK, and we want to give that the proper focus that it needs in this early stage before we then can switch over to DRG and actually work on the season. This also means that any kind of things that we do right now also have to be scoped in a way where they will not take too much time away from ROCK. Just to kind of put everything into perspective, we are right now in October. The maintenance update is due next month. Now, as you know, updates have kind of overhead and stuff like that we need to do to get an update out. It's not just kind of doing the stuff, committing it, and pressing a button. So we need time for that. We need something that we can do within a limited time. And further context, after November comes December, and then we're in the new year, and we are really want to get the closed alpha started in the new year, in Q1, as soon as possible. And so, again, kind of whatever we're going to be doing here, it's going to be part of the maintenance update. And kind of, as we said, maintenance updates are tweaks. So it's not going to be kind of, we're not going to create a new season. We're not going to extend the performance pass. We're not going to do any stuff like that. That would take way too much time. That would then simply delay everything else, right? And in the end, if stuff gets delayed too much, that is also then just delaying season 5. It's then delaying the early access release of ROCK. I mean, there's no way around it. This delay has to happen. We want to mitigate it, but we can't like magically pull content out of our hats.
Yeah, I mean, that's serious. Somebody saying, yeah, like, would have been nice to get a new season and then announce ROCK development after that. I totally agree. I mean, and I think that, like, you know, I don't think anyone here is thinking this is, like, the ideal timeline for things, but this is how it turned out, and we're doing the best we can, given the situation. And I think also it seems like there's a huge interest here to make sure that, listening to people's requests, definitely looking at, say, tuning down rock clocks in the meantime and stuff like that. But, it's...
Quick side note, Johan, you need to turn down your game volume.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Or a little bit. I turned it down 20%.
Nice.
Question: will
Tell
we
me
have
if this is
ROCK
better.
leaks in future streams? I mean, I don't see why not.
It's
I'm
been
sure-
our modus
Stop me,
operandi
Mike. Try to
before,
stop
so...
Okay, we got Mark, fix these.
Fix what, sorry?
The swarmers, you have the flamethrower.
So another question:
keep
will
casting
you
like
I'm
fireballs.
engineer. I'm engineer.
James
Oh.
is asking, will weapons be
And-
getting reworked like Subata and GK2 in these updates? So that is not the main goal of these updates, but like again, balance tweaks and stuff like that are totally on the table for these updates, even though again they're not the main purpose. And again, time is limited, so I would say full-on reworks, as you have seen us doing with some guns, are less likely. Those take quite a bit of time of testing, balancing. I mean,
Yeah, like the Subata got new mods and stuff, right? So
yeah, that's that takes time. That takes a lot of time. But I think more kind of contained tweaks, like tweaking overclocks, slight balancing of mods without actually reworking the entire weapon, are much more likely. But again, I don't want to sit here and promise anything. Like, there's limited time. Part of the focus right now, again, for this update is seeing what we can do with Season 4, how we can make it work for new players and old players alike. What are some of the pain points for old players that we can try to address without affecting the game for somebody who just came in, right? I mean, they still need to go through a season and performance pass and all that stuff. So.
Also, I think people have to realize that we're getting so many more new players every day than we have veteran players playing the game. So it's a hard balance to strike between catering to new players while also catering to the veteran players.
But we love the veterans more.
Yeah, of course.
You guys are awesome. But yeah, it's kind of we like it is a live game. It is out like it's not. It's like, I mean, kind of people talking about are we abandoning or stuff like that? Not at all, right? I mean, the game is alive and healthy, and we want to keep it that way. And it's healthy because it has a healthy, like, core community, which you are part of. But it's also healthy because it has a continuous influx of new players as well. And yeah, we need to balance that.
Hey!
Question from... I'm just gonna ask questions. Do you guys plan to make any changes about how the Glyphid Stingtail works? That is another one of those things that I want to try to look at for the maintenance update. Tweaking a little bit on the Stingtail. I will need to be talking a bit more with Anas on this, as he's the one who's worked on it the most.
I think a prime candidate is like a cooldown of the grab and stuff like that.
Exactly, especially if the grab is successful, right?
Yeah,
So,
but I think the cooldown is like 3 seconds now.
yeah,
Okay.
it could be longer, so you have a chance to, you know, scream.
Yeah.
I think somebody I saw coming up, like, basically like, is season 5 going to be worth it? Like, that's totally subjective. I don't think there's any good answer I can give you to that. I think one thing that also Robert, the art director, underscored is, like, you know, from where we're at, it's really difficult and just, like, not a smart move to be like, yeah, it's going to be the best one yet, because then that, how do you live up to delivering on saying, yeah, this is going to be freaking awesome? So, you know, it's going to be cool. It's going to be something that we're happy with and proud of. But
If you like
know,
Deep Rock, you'll like it. I think that's the
But-
Good answer.
yeah, it's just not. It's, you know, you have to understand it's not, it's a very dangerous thing for us to be like, yeah, this is going to be the best one yet, because there's almost no way we could live up to that.
No. Also, remember the context. The season is being delayed not to make the season bigger. The season is being delayed to make space for local. It's gonna be a normal DRG season. We're gonna do our best. We will, as we always do. We always want to. I mean, we want to be proud of the work that we do.
Be the best rock puck season ever.
Yeah.
Because
Wait, what? No.
It won't have rock pucks.
No. It's this new concept we have. So it's robots, right? But they're infected with rock.
Oh, rock
And-
pucks. Yeah,
And they're all
I see.
stingtails.
Rob talk.
I see. I like it.
Mark, maybe this is a question for you. Nether Matus says, at the end of the last year, you posted some game stats, which shows how many times people get downed or are rock and stoning. At the end of the year, are you going to post like a DRG stats thing?
Most likely.
I hope
I mean,
we do.
We've done it in previous years, so I don't see why
We
wouldn't
actually
do it this
haven't.
year.
We skipped a year.
Did we?
We had to push. I think we had to push to get the last one out. I think I've actually pushed like a year and a half or something.
Well, we should do it again. It's super fun.
It's definitely something that we love doing and we think super cool ourselves. So it's just a matter of someone actually sitting down and gathering the data and doing it. I know also Alex asked last year. I don't think he'd done that previously. So for last year, I think it was 2 years or something. We waited for it. Maybe a year and a half. I don't know. But, I'm on team more infographics. Along those lines.
Yeah, me as well. Here's a more straightforward question. Somebody asks, will the dwarves in Rogue Core be able to rock and stone?
Yes. They are dwarves. Dwarves rock.
It's actually all
Dwarves
they
rock
will
and
be able to do.
Yeah. That and press A and D.
Would you guys mind if I order another resupply before we leave?
Mark,
Got
I'd be
another
so
question
pissed
here.
at you. I would bring down hellfire on your head.
Do you guys think you might be stretching yourselves a bit thin with what is only 32 devs? So the whole point of postponing season 5 and all that stuff is to not stretch ourselves thin. As Aaron wrote so eloquently in one of his posts, we really value a healthy work-life balance here. This company was started by veterans who have experienced all sorts of development practices and wanted to make a company where they would be happy to work in as employees. All the founders are actually on the development floor here still. So yeah, we all our planning and stuff like that is based around the idea of work being nice and fun and fulfilling, and yeah, the end.
And also another thing according to that, we've actually been looking for bigger offices for quite a while because we simply don't have room for more people at the office. We have hired a few, but I mean with interns and everything, we can't fit more desks. It's simply impossible. And we there's also like a limit to how many you need to have a certain
I
amount
literally
of
see
toilets
space
per
for one
people.
more desk, Jakob. Stop lying.
We
don't need doors.
That's
We can use
inside
windows.
Aaron, that doesn't count.
Also, our building is literally approaching the legal limit for ratio of how many employees per toilets we have.
Yeah.
We have 3 toilets
not
in this
kidding.
office, and this is. I know this sounds like a joke I would make, but this is genuinely we can't get that many more people in this office without breaking toilet laws.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
Aaron ate 3 burgers.
Yeah,
Think about
when
this.
you
Yeah,
hire a
6
guy like
toilets on
me,
his
you
own.
really need to plan for the toilets in the building. And I know I don't make that easy, but I hope I can make it worth it for him. So, especially if we're hiring more Americans, guys with food instincts like me. All right, now I'm going jokey on the toilet. I understand I'm derailing this by going jokey about the toilets thing. That is actually real. Which is to say, we are at full ass capacity for how many people we can have in this building. But once we get a new office, being able to expand Ghost Ship and bring more team members aboard is going to be a much more real possibility.
Yeah, it's a real shitty situation.
Oh, goddammit.
So, just kind of in relation to somebody saying like, hey, not to be a doomer, but this is sounding like the course Bungie took with completely prioritizing new players and pushing over delivery. So, we specifically are trying not to do that. We don't want to just prioritize new players, and we don't want to just prioritize the vocal community, who of course are very much full of old players. We want to find a balance.
Yeah, and please notice that we're not saying there's no more seasons. We're just saying that the next season is gonna take a bit longer. There's also gonna be a season 6, so we've not stopped making seasons for Dwarf in any capacity.
Another question, is there plans to add more Dreadnought types into the game? So there are no concrete plans, but there are actually some designs.
I like a concrete dreadnought. Right.
You like a concrete? Ooh, okay. Yeah.
But
I'll add that to the list. So I mean, the whole kind of elimination style mission thing, we've been thinking around other ways to do those as well, and kind of also maybe stepping away from it just being a big Liffid, like going to other enemy types or giving them other mechanics. Flying spiders, for example, always fun. Nothing planned and concrete.
What about like 4 short glyphids taking down a giant dwarf?
4 glyphs in a trench coat.
Yeah.
Is this like
glyphs in a trench coat? I
mean,
like that.
You want Deep Frog Galactic again?
Oh yes.
I'll make it again.
Bring it back, Mike. It was great content.
Hey, here's one from Science Dude on Twitch. Says, could Rogue Core get female dwarfs?
Maybe this is something that is again something we're talking about. We have not made a decision on this yet, and it is not necessarily very likely. Again, this is coming together from the fact that we are looking at how we can kind of combine these 2 projects, working on them, and for example, being able to use not having to have more voice lines and all that stuff would help with that. There's also, again, the whole thing of exactly how we would do female dwarves, and we have not been able to completely agree on that to this day in the office. And until we can agree on that, then we of course cannot move.
Yeah, we had a large Reddit thread about it recently, where a lot of people were like, "Oh, just make, I mean, just hide the pitch and add some more cosmetics," and it's just not the way we want to do it. Which was also worrying to some people, because then they thought we would have like these hypersexualized female dwarves. That's also not something we want. Right, Mike?
That is correct.
Please.
Leave that to the powerful imaginations of the internet.
Yeah. It's already happened. I cry every time.
Somebody on YouTube says, will all the weapons from the main ROCK GALACTIC game be in Rogue Core, or should we expect something new or badass? I think that's a yes to both.
That's a yes. Well, yeah, sort of. Right now in the prototypes, we actually do have all the weapons from DRG in Rogue Core, and these are the weapons that you find as you are making your way through the Lost Dig set. Now, we also have new badass weapons, and these are the weapons you start your mission with. These are the reclaimer weapons. DRG perks are not coming in as perks, though some of the perk mechanics could totally be reused, of course, as needed. Now, there's no guarantee that all the weapons will stay. The Rogue Core kind of balance, stuff like that, is a bit different from DRG's, and likewise, the weapon interaction is different because we are not in a class situation. Everybody can have everything, so all the weapons are getting tweaked as well. Yeah.
Mike, beyond these starting weapons, are there also going to be original weapons like picked up in the caves?
Totally can be. So because of the way weapons are done in Rogue Core, and this is for me one of the kind of very exciting things about Rogue Core, it's very, very time consuming and expensive to make weapons in DRG. And we are actually setting up Rogue Core specifically for it to not be anywhere near as expensive for us to do new weapons, because it's fun to do new weapons and they add a lot to the game, and so making it easier for us to expand content there is a big goal. So we for sure will be adding new weapons that you find. We haven't been doing that yet, but there are already, for example, some weapon prototypes for the reclaimer weapons that were like, this is not working as a reclaimer weapon, this is not working as a starting weapon that you start with. This, could easily be something you find. So, yeah.
Mike, somebody in Twitch.
I got one. Oh.
Somebody in Twitch asks, any news for new overclocks?
Well, yes. So, Tim. I don't know how many of you know Tim. Tim's great. Tim has been working on new overclocks for Season 5. They are actually like past the initial prototype phase, so they still need some art work and stuff like that. So it is very much in the plans to have new overclocks in Season 5. For now, I mean, again, we didn't kind of write down and commit yet to what is in Season 5. I see very little reason for us not to put these into Season 5. Also, Anas has been doing overclock work before, so we have some stuff. It would make sense for us to put it in. Yeah.
What about
I see
the prelude, Season 5 being a prelude? How does that work? I've seen that a
So,
lot.
Yeah, so the idea is like the whole story of Rogue Core that you kind of saw in the trailer, teaser trailer, whatever the hell you call that kind of thing. Right? It kind of comes like this event happens that we're calling the Grey Out, where these mine sites go dark, right? DRG loses contact with them. They can't get in there. They are surrounded by a barrier that is impenetrable for heavy machinery and stuff like that. The Dwarves need to come with like a special tool to be able to get through it and stuff like that. And this is all coming together with them stumbling upon something. Now, we are still in the process of figuring out exactly what is down there. We have ideas, but I don't want to kind of go into it yet because we are still very, very uncertain where that is. We need to figure that out ourselves first before we just share the gazillion different things that we are not even agreeing on internally yet. But once we have that figured out, the idea would be to kind of introduce that to have some either consequences of that event, or another idea we've been kicking around is more kind of even a kind of like further prelude of how DRG stumbled upon Expedite in the first place, and the process of that, and that would kind of be the whole prelude thing there.
So it's lore. Because
I mean,
I know
it's lore through gameplay. It's
Yeah.
lore through game.
Because some
It's
people
not,
are worried that they will have to things from they will have to have both games to actually like. I mean, they will keep something in one game, but it's really more of a build-up, right? It's more of a introduction to an event.
So from DRG's perspective, Rogue Core itself has nothing to do with this, right? This is going to be like if it is the first one, it's going to be kind of like a digging deeper sort of thing, or kind of DRG, you're part of this push that results in the events that. I mean, it's not the events in Rogue Core, right? Rogue Core is the Reclaimers coming after the fact, after the Grey Out, after all that happened. They are coming there to reclaim, hence the name, these lost sites. Yeah. I don't know exactly. I hope it answers. Does it answer?
There was a question that got asked a while back that I forgot to address, but it's an easy one. Somebody asked, are we getting the Halloween update? Yes, that is mentioned in the roadmap on the DRG release. We are still doing all holiday stuff. So, special events with a little thing to find and a funny hat and cosmetics and the seasonal stuff like that. That's still going on in Deep Rock, so that's not going away. We just didn't want to emphasize that too much in the roadmap, because then people would pretty obviously be like, well, this is not like content, and get really mad. So we didn't want to overhype that. But
Alright.
yes.
I've got a good question for you, Mike. From Astroman, first time in the chat. What's up, Astroman? Is Rogue Core going to be more grounded in builds, or can you get some broken game-busting builds like in Risk of Rain or similar roguelikes? I like my dwarven power fantasies.
I think we definitely want to have space for these kind of crazy things to happen as well. And in the prototype, we certainly have had that.
Yeah, you combine the upgrades as you go, and if you get the right ones, I guess you can like push the boundaries of some things, right?
I still remember Mark with when he got that artifact that made him do damage to things. The harder he fell to the ground.
Classic Mark.
We should have an edition.
So good.
Where
and then you
audio
found
is
the
still-
grappling hook, so you would be like hanging on the ceiling, waiting for your moment.
Yeah. So chat, just imagine
Drop like a piano.
Imagine your damage being dealing damage every time you hit the ground, and
You do like a ground slam.
the more momentum you have going down, the more damage you'll do. And I picked up a grappling hook, so for the rest of the game, I was just grappling to the roof and letting go just to deal massive damage when I landed.
Okay, imagine Mark having like a really, really big ass.
Yeah, imagine also that, and he's like pregnant, but in like a sexy way, and he's sorry. Whoa, are we? Is the camera live?
Yeah.
Did you just say pregnant, but in a sexy way?
He did.
No, you did. But also with the initial version of that ground slam thing, the audio also used to be super, super busted. So the volume of the ground slam explosion would scale based on like how high you fell from. So you could just get like the bass in people's speakers just bottom out by just anytime you landed on the ground. It's pretty cool.
All right. Speaking of Mark's ass, we're going to the Bedazzled Boneyard now. So.
Bedazzled. All right. Someone's asking, will Rogue Core? It's core like the core of an apple, not core as in like the Marine Corps. Just so you know. So will Rogue Core be 4-player co-op? Yes. And again, as with DRG, we're actually focusing on the co-op as the primary target. It will be a playable single player. That is super important for us. I love playing DRG solo myself, but like we're approaching from co-op game first, then enabling it for solo instead of building a solo game first and enabling it for co-op. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bedazzled Boneyard.
Question: when are we getting FSR 3.0 integration? Johan, can you answer that?
No.
What, Johan? What is FSR 3.0?
It's a graphic setting.
Yay!
Is that the AMD, the AMD one? I think it is.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
We're all gonna die.
Question: have you ever played GTFO? Yes.
Have we played it at the office at some point?
I don't
The
know.
office when it,
Yeah, I played with you and Fran, Mike.
No, yeah.
I was there too, Jacob.
Who?
Yeah, I
who's
don't
talking?
remember you,
Here's
Mark.
some-
You were
talking.
like
You're like,
crying in a
what's
corner or something. Yeah.
I was hyping out over the fact that you could see each other's mouse cursors in that game.
Is that in the, like, the hacking thing?
Draw stuff.
What the-
You could draw stuff on the map.
Oh yeah, right.
Draw some
We were talking-
definitely safer
we
work
were-
stuff.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
talking about
Time
like,
to
the
penis, very,
yeah.
very short.
Yeah.
Speedrun GTFO penis %.
Question: when is the first gameplay snippet being revealed to our eyes? I assume you are asking about Rogue Core, and that is pretty much what update 4, the one we are just starting now. These are internal updates. People don't have access to them outside the office, but we're still we're already in that same flow, right? And then just at some point we're going to shift to these being available to like a closed alpha group, and then eventually into early access. But the 4th update is very much focusing on visual and thematic identity of Rogue Core. So right now Rogue Core looks like DRG got hit by a train.
It looks like insanely modded, broken sheetrock.
It's full of programmer art and like janky ass everything. Like, I mean, we're testing gameplay and how it feels, and we're doing it, as professionals who can look past all this crazy stuff. But it is in no way ready to be shown like in video form. We were able to do screenshots. We have to hide the HUD, but like that part is working okay. Hopefully by the end of update 4 we will bring it to a place where it's like, yeah, all right, now we're ready to show this. It's doesn't look like a pile of vomit, but it's a pile of vomit that plays really well.
It's a fun pile.
Fun pile of vomit.
That's what I'm always explaining to the bartender as they're kicking me out.
Oh no, I just wasted a fat boy on a menace.
Classic Mark.
Actually
You can
thought-
never
also
waste a
just-
fat boy,
You
Mark.
also just got the bad boy Mark.
I got
fair.
fat boy
You're
last
new.
stream.
Yeah, you're new. You're new at the fat boying.
Question from YouTube: will DRG Season 5 be similar to Rogue Core? No, I mean the gameplay. So DRG is DRG, and DRG is remaining DRG. That is our mining dwarf life simulator.
100% accurate simulator.
Yes, I love DRG, and I don't want it to like. No, DRG is staying DRG. Rogue Core is its own thing.
Hey, Johan, 2 points.
So Season 5 is going to have some thematic connections to Rogue Core. But that is it.
Somebody in Twitch says, why are the devs ignoring my important question? There's a ton of questions coming in. We can't get to them all. You can try and keep spamming it. But
Maybe it's not that good. I don't know.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, either we're not seeing it or your question isn't.
If it is, we'll apologize.
And we'll never tell you which one it is.
His question is, why can I still not shave my eyebrows?
Oh. All right, yeah, that one was because the question wasn't good.
Yeah.
I also have to add, you always think it looks better than it actually does.
Yeah, if you say that as a man you sound like a guy who's tried to shave his eyebrows.
No, they just like kind of half fell off. on their
Keyword
own.
tried.
They half fell off? What
Yeah.
the fuck do you mean by that?
It's
Is that why you didn't come
it's
to
a
the office
in a
today,
shaving
Jacob?
accident.
Okay, then that's not what half fell off means.
It is.
That's
Alright.
like deliberate, almost. Or maybe not if it was an accident, but...
You know, Aaron,
I mean,
English is
there
not
was
my
some-
first
some
language,
sort of-
and I don't think you
Okay.
should bully me.
I think I should. Question from Captain Deela has,
Next
how are you
stream,
going...
we're shaving your eyebrows.
What?
Okay,
I can't even see him. No, sorry,
Mike-
sorry. Yeah.
Mike, I've got a question for you
That's safe.
from somebody in stream. They are saying, how are you going to manage continuous development for 2 games now going forward, delivering quality updates for both in a reasonable time frame, considering regular seasons in DRG already took some time, and considering the team is not incredibly big? Big question, pretty critical, but I think a worthwhile one that we should talk about.
Yes. So this is something that we are going to be figuring out. We have like we we're gonna run them both. We are not sunsetting or anything with DRG. And I mean, exactly how what the process will be. Will there be slowdown in DRG content? I don't know. We are definitely also will be looking to expanding our studio a bit as well. But it takes time to get people into a place where they can kind of like run on their own with this stuff as well. So I don't have a direct answer for you, like how we're gonna do that, but we intend to do that.
Yeah, the thing is, people say just hire more people, and one thing is space, another thing is actually like managing them. The more people you have, you also need to have like middle management, and you also have to have there's a lot of things that goes into getting a new hire, like training them. Like someone like Aaron, we didn't have to train because he's just like doing things that everyone can do. But
wow,
he's just very good at it.
Shots fired.
But
You're so lucky you're not in the office today, dude.
we're yelling at each other, so we're having a lot of burgers and stuff. So yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, first of all, not everyone can eat 3 hamburgers.
Yeah, I
No,
don't think
you
I
only
would
two
be
and a
able to.
half. But yeah, I mean, it just hiring new people actually takes a lot, like in the management part too, and like getting them set up with like learning how we do it and everything.
Another question from Barakolara says, I read that Rogue Core was considered to be DRG DLC actually, or initially. What made you decide it was better to split it into a standalone game? Would this affect the scope and price of the game?
Yeah, so it was initially kind of intended as a DLC expansion.
Yeah, like a big DLC, right? Not just like small.
Yes,
content.
and kind of as I mean, it almost started off as like a question of like, is this a game mode or is this an expansion? And then as we started prototyping and experimenting, like having, you know, it initially started, you can also see it on the roadmap, we kind of had the history there. Initially started with us, you know, just using the, you know, gunner, driller, scout, engineer. You had their weapons. We were trying to, you know, apply this rogue-like structure to that. And it kind of was like felt like a weird deep dive. It was neither here and there, and we were like, okay, so this is not good enough. Like this will not work, and then we decided to kind of try to push it a little further. So we're like, okay, so what if we kind of released more constraints, didn't have to use the classes, and that was like, okay, we tried that, and that was already feeling a lot better. But then we started hitting up situations like, okay, so how do we integrate this into DRG? How do we actually? Because right, Deep Rock Galactic has an economy and a permanent progression system that, like, you playing kind of comes into, and you know, we had concepts of how this can go. Like, what can you get XP from this? What happens when you upgrade weapons in DRG? Like all that stuff. And then kind of Mikkel gave the go-ahead to kind of completely release the reins, and we could do a prototype where like just anything goes. I mean, of course, it's still in the DRG universe, still in Hoxes, blah blah blah, but kind of like don't pretend DRG doesn't exist as a game, right? It's just a setting. And that's kind of what Rogue Core became, and that's where it suddenly, like, it kind of there was this moment where suddenly it was like, okay, yeah, this is it. And that was kind of like, okay, well, for this to really work, and for us to not have to concern about like trying to somehow fit this into the DRG structure, it's like, okay, this is like, I mean, if we do this as a DLC, it's a weird DLC because now it is so different from the base game that you buy this DLC for. So I mean, if like, yes, of course, if you like Deep Rock Galactic, hopefully you like Rogue Core, but I mean, Rogue Core is like originally we were like, oh, can we do a roguelike for you know, fans of Deep Rock Galactic, not so much kind of on its own, but very much in that context of this is something that if you like playing Deep Rock Galactic, you will guaranteed like this, right? But that that's what we shifted away from. So now it's more like, I mean, still, odds are if you like Deep Rock Galactic, you will like this, but it is not Deep Rock Galactic. And so we made it so good.
You also, so you mentioned that it will also be easier to, comparing to workload, it's actually easier. It will be easier to update, right? I don't know if you also
yes. So we're designing it to be to be that way. Again, prime example is weapons, right? So DRG weapons have all these things that need to be done for a weapon to exist. Just on the gameplay side, right? So if we don't even talk about all the frameworks and all that stuff, right? Just on the gameplay side, there's the whole upgrade tree, all the overclocks, all that stuff. And a new reclaimer weapon in Rogue Core is way faster to make. Because it doesn't come with all that baggage. The progression, the power growth, and all that stuff, that is happening in a connected but separate system that doesn't care, like, you know, if you add a new gun to the system, as long as you make the gun to fit the existing system. And that is super, like, freeing and empowering for us, and it's one of the things I'm very excited about. And it's kind of, you know, it's making it like, yeah, shit, we can make all these guns, and guns are fun. Guns are great. I mean, if it's a first-person shooter, I mean, they're really at the center of it. And with Rogue Core, we will be able to do that. We also don't have to think of balance in the same way. We don't have to balance like potential like builds inside the gun. Of course, the gun has to be balanced in the game itself, but it's on a completely different level than what we have in DRG.
Mike, I see a question getting repeated a lot on Twitch. Will Rogue Core be coming to console? And if so, what's the timeline of that compared to Season 5?
Well, no timeline, and right now we're not even thinking about it. So it's not that, like, this is not me saying Rogue Core is not coming to console. This is me saying we don't have space to, like, think about that. We know we need to do the early access, and the place to do that is on Steam. We did have a bit of this, I forget what it's called on the Xbox. Microsoft has their own kind of sort of early access thing, but
that's called game preview.
Game preview. It has a way to go still. I think, so we're again, we don't want to add more to our plate than is already there. For obvious reasons, right? So no, we need to do early access, and we're doing that on Steam, and then we will look into this. And, like, I mean, I see no strong reason not to, but I mean, I cannot say yes, right? That would also be me lying. Yeah. And I can't say no, that would also be me lying.
We also still need to consider the whole thing with Season 5 being a prelude to something that might not be out on console, so we had to figure out what to do there.
Well, again, it's like, I think it's very important to make Season 5 in a way that it doesn't, like, again, right? I mean, Season 5 is connected to Rogue Core. You know, they're pointing at the same events, but it would be kind of like if Rogue Core was you going to the, I don't know, what do you call them? The rival, I don't know, space station that's somewhere or something like that. I mean, I'm not saying there is a rival. You know, if Rogue Core was based around that, that doesn't, you know, that doesn't invalidate Season 1 and 2, right? Season 1 and 2 were kind of like bringing some of that concept in, and then Rogue Core, so it would be kind of like that, I think, more than anything else. It's very important for it to still be able to, on the DRG side, that season needs to stand on its own feet.
Yeah, I think that's also reassuring in regards to nothing, like, you won't lose anything if you don't play Rogue Core.
No. All you're losing is the Rogue Core experience, right? I mean, they're not connected like that. I mean, of course, right? I mean, it is Deep Rock Galactic universe, and whatever you can take from that. But no, we're not tying them to each other in that sense.
Somebody asks, will Rogue Core have higher difficulty or challenge modifiers similar to Risk of Rain?
So exactly how the player will have control over difficulty is still something that we haven't kind of looked at all. Right now, the current state of it is that there are multiple missions, runs. So it's like, it's not like a single run sort of roguelite game. There are multiple, so you can kind of complete one and then unlock harder ones and stuff like that that are taking place in different environments.
Sorry, little bug.
So though each one is also procedurally generated, and so we have that, and there is difficulty progression there, as well as of course progression within the run, right? But then like some runs are harder than others. But whether how much more control does a player have over like how to make a run extra difficult, stuff like that, we simply haven't considered it. We will definitely be designing this and figuring out how to do that.
Mark.
Another question: will from YouTube, will Rogue Core have some sort of progression outside of missions, like the overclock grind and promotions, like in DRG? Bumped to have to wait for a new season, but excited for the game. Yeah, so yes, Rogue Core is a rogue light for the uninitiated. That means that there is some form of permanent progression. Right now, what we have is you will unlock new reclaimer weapons. These are the weapons that you select one of these to start with, and you will unlock face suits. These are pretty much the ability that you start with, and there will also be suit mods, and these will tweak your face suit. So each suit, like, you'll be able to do a set of mods. Again, remember, this is super early, so anything is subject to change. But so you'll be able to unlock new ones, so you kind of can build your suit out a little more with some bonuses or change how it works. So we're looking at that progression, having a lot of kind of increasing your choices, but we're also not shying away from it potentially increasing your power as well. And this is a balance that I'm very kind of wary of because striking a place where, like, it's a game where you don't feel like, oh, you know, I'm destined to fail. I hate that in these kind of games, so I think it's important for us to strike a balance where it's like, no, you're not destined to fail. You're unlocking options and increasing your strength so that you can take on harder things that you unlock later on, stuff like that. But yeah, this is all still early days.
Come here.
Rumple, we have a suggestion. I guess this is an idea, more asking if we could consider this idea. Somebody says, would it be possible to bring back the old seasons and their battle passes if we're waiting so long for the next season? Just because, you know, obviously everyone's sick of Rockpox, but also then it would give a chance for people to go back to old seasons and earn gear that they may not have gotten. Is that something that's possible?
Possible, yes. I mean, like as in, like, physically, like, it is possible, but it's not very probable. And this is again coming to the whole thing of how much work goes in right now. So I think, again, like I said it earlier, with the maintenance update, I'm planning to find ways to mitigate some of the worst hurt that you know, veteran players that have been with Rockbox for coming up on a year soon. So kind of really try to identify ways where we can quickly and easily help with that. But at the same time, we don't want to take too much time away from our schedule. So, because we need to work on Rogue Core, we need to get Rogue Core ready for closed alpha in the first quarter of 2024. We're in October. November is next month. That is when the maintenance update is coming out. So whatever is happening on the maintenance update is, you know, we're looking at about 3 weeks development time max. And this is not going to be 3 weeks of the full team. The majority of the team are working on Rogue Core. Again, as we stated before, we really want to give our focus both to Rogue Core and to Season 5. And we cannot do that if we're trying to do both and we're juggling and people are constantly jumping from one to the other. Like, it doesn't work. That's not how we work. So right now we are giving space to Rogue Core because it is in a place where we need to, like, nail it down further. We got it to a place where we were, like, able to commit to it, so therefore we were able to announce it and finally share it with you. But now, like again, people are asking, when are we going to be able to see some videos? Well, as soon as we actually have a game that, you know, has a visual and thematic identity in it. So when you see that thematic identity in a video, the screenshots we showed, I mean, like I keep saying, they have the HUD hidden. They have that one weapon that, like that's one of the new Reclaimer starting weapons. All the other ones are using bastardized DRG like frameworks and stuff like that. Just, I mean, again, right? We're just grabbing stuff we have, putting new mechanics on it, but it is not in a place where it's ready to show because somebody out of context. I mean, it's gonna, one, it's gonna look like shit, and two, it's gonna look a lot like DRG because it's using DRG assets, and that's no good. So we need to get it into a place where it is ready for showing. If we are going to be working on kind of this big thing with trying to, you know, make the reality of us delaying Season 5 easier, I mean, the more time we spend on it, the more ROCK gets delayed. In the end, that's just going to delay Season 5 as well. We need to, I think, I mean, I already have. It took me a while to accept it. Been trying to find a way that we could actually release a season before we did this ROCK stuff, but again, there's no way without us just delaying everything further and further and further. And yeah, Season 5's delayed, DRG's delayed. This is the reality. We do not have another way forward to do both of these things, and we want to do both of these things.
And we also debated like for a really long while, when could we say that we are working on ROCK, because I mean it was taking longer with the seasons, and something was up, right? So I've been pushing to like when can we say it. Then we decided to do this whole Ghost Ship on the Horizon thing, which was an opportunity to actually finally reveal that its seasons are taking a bit longer because we need to focus on this too. It's actually it's a bit of like a weight off the shoulders that we can talk about it now, even though the reception is mixed. But there's been a reason for it.
Yeah, and just
good reason for all of it.
And you know, to be honest, like it's pretty obvious for anyone following the game, like, okay, something's up because it's so slow, and it was just like a weird situation for like, haha, yeah, Season 5, oh, yep, stay tuned, and like not be able to say why. And so, you know, granted, it's still disappointing news for people, and I totally get why. Like, I would, speaking outside of me as a guy who works for GSG and just me as a guy who likes Deep Rock Galactic, of course I'd like Season 5 sooner. So it's like, I totally get the disappointment, but at least now you know why, which I get isn't.
We've also been very, very honest like about it. Not all companies are, but it's also, I mean, from the reactions, also obvious that honesty is sometimes like when it's this. Is it so about something you like and something you're looking forward to, and then you're not getting it? Some people are taking it really, really hard, and I mean that's just the way it is. But we're trying to be so transparent as we can, and I think part of your job will also, like Aaron, will also be to help making like give us more in-depth behind the scenes look, and so we can show more of what we're doing instead of.
Yeah, actually, like to give an example of that. Just this morning, I was talking with Fulik. He is one of our artists and both 2D and 3D artists, and spent the morning talking with him. He's designing a new, right now, sketches for the set of Reclaimer guns, like the new elite weapons there. So I spent this morning talking with him and looking at his sketches and sort of talking about his thought process for weapon design. So one of those upcoming Below Decks articles that I'm going to be writing, probably coming out in a few weeks, is going to be, sort of looking into his weapon design process and giving you a sneak peek at what some of the weapons for ROCK might end up looking like. I'm super excited to write that story. I think it's going to turn out pretty cool.
They also look awesome.
Yeah, the guns are super.
So excited! I'm so excited. I mean, it's still right. Those sketches are a long way from becoming meshes. Also, there's a lot of sketches, right? And he's taking a lot of time with them. And then for each weapon, right, only one is being selected. And it is again kind of this process. This stuff takes time, and giving it enough time kind of to really mature, right? Because it's an iterative process, right? So he's sketching and kind of exploring what these guns mean and how they can work and how that affects how they look. and it just takes time.
What the hell's going on here?
I don't
Like I
know.
said,
Get good, Jakob.
Going back to the gun design question and expanding
Yeah.
on it, does this also mean that Rogue Core updates could potentially be more expansive in gameplay and mechanics than DRG updates?
In terms of like mechanics of getting new weapons and things like that, yes. I think so. DRG has some stuff as a if you think of DRG as kind of like a platform for gameplay exploration. It has something that Rogue Core does not, right? So kind of DRG has this setting where we can add new mission types and these new things for the dwarves to do in kind of within, of course, the setting and the framework of DRG, and there we can play around with a lot of different mechanics. We can also do that in Rogue Core, but kind of like not to the same degree where we're doing with seasons in DRG, right? Where it's like, oh, there's a new thing happening, and that comes with new
Joe doing a
gameplay.
media event.
yeah, I'm on my way there.
Whereas, of course, with Rogue Core, what we have instead is like the ability to like have a much quicker to make weapons and upgrades and things like that because of the way they're done. Because we've actually stepped away from this class system in DRG, and we stepped away from this kind of like depth being inside each individual weapon, like the depth of progression and power growth, and is instead kind of is more external, which means there is this external progression system that we can add new upgrades to, new powers to, things like that will affect the weapon. And we can also add more weapons, and the weapons themselves, they are the base weapon. Like if you think of DRG guns without upgrades, without overclocks, right? That's like what the guns are. The upgrades, overclocks, and weird mechanics are coming externally, and that really frees up and gives a lot of freedom. Frees up and gives a lot of freedom for us to experiment with mechanics without having to like commit to like then creating like this whole new gun monster.
Excellent work.
Question. Not sure if this has been asked yet, but is the gameplay of Rogue Core planned to be pure roguelite FPS, or will there be more varied events that aren't just the shooting missions? So, there will definitely be other things than just shooting. So, I mean, Rogue Core is taking place in the DRG caves using the DRG cave tech. And so, traversal is a big part of it as well. The cave, we are custom making the kind of like the cave layouts. We're able to reuse some of the like cave shapes, though also plenty that simply do not fit. But because there's a different flow to Rogue Core than there is to a DRG mission. It is a bit of a faster flow. You're covering ground more, and you are not guaranteed to have traversal tools. You have to find the traversal tools, and they are competing in your inventory for weapons and other equipment, deployables, all that stuff. So, potentially a team is going to be sharing one traversal tool for the whole team, and I mean, it depends how you build out, right? What sacrifices you will make as a team, and but there are kind of like we were talking about these objectives. So these are objectives in quotation marks. They are not kind of like deep dive objectives or mission objectives where you see in the corner, hey, you need to collect 20 of these, or you need to do that. Instead, all the objectives are kind of right now focusing around opportunities for you to obtain Expedite, which you can then use in the processor drone that's with you to create these power-ups. And this is coming in many different forms, right? From like the basic one of find a vein of Expedite to more complex things like there's an Expedite, because remember these the digs that you're in, these are Expedite harvesting kind of dig sites, right, where they are harvesting the expedite, processing the expedite, preparing it for shipping it off hoxes and stuff like that. Which is why also you're seeing all this machinery. It's a bit more of a permanent thing. It's not just a cave where you know, like with a Morkite mission, it's a smash and grab, and you never come back there. So it's a more permanent place, and therefore in there, like, you can find like an expedite processor that maybe you need to kickstart again, and that will attract hordes while it is chugging along, and then processes the expedite that it has already inside, and you're able to get your hands on it. So all sorts of stuff, and we're of course very much looking to introduce new kind of event mechanics, if you will, if you want to consider, or objective mechanics into Rogue Core, but also reuse existing ones. So like for example, something like the black boxes from that. It's a really nice mechanic. It's very simple. Like, I mean, it can't just be stuff like that, but that's an example of something that, like you find and you have to just stay in this location. It needs to be reskinned. It's not the black, we need to give it a different theme, but at the core of the gameplay would be stay inside the circle, right? So we also have that, and we also have new stuff. Some things for like following audio signal, like,
Mike, I just want to interrupt. There's one question that's been repeated. I think it's pretty good, so I want to give it some oxygen. Somebody says, you mentioned you need more developers, but DRG has a massive community that's now very competent in modding the game. Have you considered adding or commissioning community-created content to the game in some way for updates, like the Steam Workshop for TF2 and CS, to, quote, share the workload for future seasons?
No, I mean, I think it's so awesome that we have that modding community, but the game modding as game playing, I mean, this should be in my opinion, should be approached as a hobby, as something you do because you enjoy it, and it is not some kind of workforce for us to exploit. So no way, not like that. We have been inspired many times by mods, and we have even added things that mods have done, because we're like, holy moly, you know what? Like we had a few like on like the whole like angle on the drills. I don't know if you remember that. It was a while back. But we were just like, why the hell didn't we put that in? Like, that makes so much sense. And, it's like, I mean, sometimes. So we're super happy to be inspired by the modding community, and bring things in if something we're like, yeah, this needs to be in the core game. Sure. Otherwise, sometimes we're like, oh, this is cool, but it's also totally fine for it to stay a mod. But yeah, hope that answers your question.
Lloyd is up.
Zach's Courier says, percentage-wise, how much of baseline DRG will be reused for Rogue Core, and how much would you ballpark say is completed for Rogue Core?
I'm not. So, what do you mean by completed for Rogue Core? Like how much of Rogue Core is finished?
How much reused content, I think, is the.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right now, it's very, very high, right? So we copied the DRG project, and we started messing with it. And so as we go, more and more is going to be replaced with bespoke Rogue Core content. Some elements, of course, like the cave tech and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure any kind of advancements that are going to be happening in one game or the other, we will move over to the other game, right? So if while in Rogue Core we somehow improve cave generation or optimize something, of course it totally makes sense to put that into DRG. And then some things will stay, like for example the fact that you find DRG weapons down in these abandoned, or not abandoned, lost, right? Grayed out dig sites. I mean, that is the story, right? It's DRG that was there. It makes sense that those are DRG weapons, which makes sense that those are the weapons that like the GK2 or the line cutter or whatever, right? So we totally feel kind of we allow ourselves to add to that, so weapons that aren't in DRG can also be in that pool if we think, hey, this would be a cool weapon, and I'm sure we will do that. But other than that, I mean, we will keep what makes sense to keep. But otherwise, we will replace as much as possible, right? This is its own game, but like another example is the biomes, right? I mean, you're still on Hoxus. ROCK is coming with its own biome stuff as well, the core biome, as we're calling it right now. I don't think that's going to be the final name, but you know, kind of as you go deeper, kind of this stuff will go, creeping in. But the other biomes are still there, and I see no reason for us to just like remake Crystal Caves. That's a waste of time, right? Our time can be spent better elsewhere. So yeah, like Crystal Cave biome, the Sandblaster biome, that's just going to be straight from DRG. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. So right now, a lot of DRG, there'll be as we go, there'll be less and less, but some elements will stay.
Somebody asks, are you guys adding on planning new guns or a new biome for Season 4? Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. I think new guns are not really in discussion. Nope. New biomes are. Is that correct?
That is correct. So, and I think they mean Season 5.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said Season 4. But it's all cool. So, new guns, not yet. I think it would be cool for us to do another set of guns, but remember, and I mean, for those that have been with us, these take time, and they not only take time to make, they also then take time to balance, and they are a huge undertaking. And while they're not quite on the level of us adding a class, so by the way, anybody asking this, as sometimes happens, there is not going to be a 5th class in DRG. We have gone way beyond the point of no return. The classes of DRG are so complex and huge and full of stuff, including, at the moment, 6 weapons, and grenades and all that stuff. So classes not happening. Guns, definitely not for Season 5. I would say probably not Season 6 either. But then after that, like, I mean, the thing is, it's really, really valuable. Guns are great, and they add a lot to DRG. So I can't promise when we're gonna do it, but I really would like us to do that, to add new guns at some point in the semi-near future.
Ooh, I got another cool question here. Another one from Dweech. Will Rogue Core have humanoid enemies, or will they be? Yeah, we'll start with that. It's a 2-part question, but first, will Rogue Core have humanoid enemies?
So, like, yeah, humanoid. We don't know. So we are adding enemies to it. We actually have not designed these enemies yet. Right now we have like in the prototype we have like pink colored DRG enemies that have been like so ROCK has normal DRG enemies in it, but then to kind of like play with like powered up and enemies with slightly different mechanics, we've just been like grabbing DRG enemies that kind of fit and then like cranking numbers and messing with shit. And right now we're in this exploration mode, and we're also starting to explore more like also like completely new mechanics in the enemies. Exactly how those enemies are going to look, I don't know yet. That is still on the table of figuring out exactly the kind of the visual identity of this new family of enemies. But it definitely will be there. They probably won't be like humanoid. But
I have a question here. I just wanted to address were the maintenance updates added to the Steam store as damage control after the initial ROCK announcement? Because I was rereading Robert's Q&A on Discord yesterday, and it seemed like his viewpoint did not match the same messaging at this point yesterday. And I just gotta say that the maintenance updates, something we actually have had talked about and had planned in advance. Yes. I'm just not sure Robert was part of those talks, because a lot of the talks take place down in the garage where a lot of us sit and sometimes info just slips, I think. So it's definitely not damage control, but it's something we felt we need to do way in advance before we actually announced it. I
mean, so the thing is that like the other thing that these updates are coming from is that because we will have less releases in this coming year. in Deeper Galactic will have the holiday events and stuff like that, but those tend to be a little more compact. Also, many of them are already like pre-made and kind of ready to go, and we just need to activate them. We try to do them in batches. So we need a place where we can inject new code, if you will, because like normally with updates and stuff like that, we are continuously optimizing, doing bug fixes, tweaking stuff here and there based on your feedback and our own feelings. So we still needed a place to do that, and that was the idea of the maintenance updates. They are a bit vague for a reason, because we also don't want to come to a place where we start promising things. Like, again, as I said previously, our focus right now very much is in the beginning rogue core. Then once we get rogue core out into the closed alpha state and into this place where everything is very much more concrete, then we can focus on doing season 5. Then we're going to focus on rogue core again. So yeah, there you have it. That's why those maintenance updates exist.
Drop pod is cleared. Warm up. Time to get to work, team.
Question: since rogue core is made from DRG, will we see rogue core features eventually added to DRG? So, where it makes sense, yes. I more see things maybe going the other way. So like technical improvements, bug fixes and stuff like that, those will be going, back and forth. But like a simple example is, if we make a new mission type for Deeper Galactic, that has no place in rogue core. If we make a new enemy for Deeper Galactic, and it's not like a season enemy, it is like, just a normal enemy on Hoxus, that totally makes sense in rogue core, and we would carry that over. Likewise in rogue core, if we are doing some content that is like, oh, this is making sense for adding to Deeper Galactic, then it will go. Because rogue core kind of is much more focused, I'm seeing that probably happen less than the other way around, where kind of it is Deeper Galactic that will continue to expand kind of Hoxus as a place, whereas rogue core is really focused on these lost dig sites. Yeah.
I think a lot of people, at least from Twitch over there, are asking about.
You're low, Aaron.
So low.
So low.
It was because I was eating an apple, so I had the mic away from my mouth. Hee hee.
It's a burger, isn't it?
No. No, believe me, I would be bragging loudly if I was on my 4th burger, but good lord, I'm not sure I could take it. But anyway, sorry, people are asking about what does closed alpha mean exactly? What's sort of the process in getting access to the closed alpha? Is it a small percentage of the community? Is it just people who can eat 3 hamburgers, or what's sort of the approach there?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the 3 hamburger thing. Maybe 4. In all seriousness, though, closed alpha is going to be when we have the game in a place where we're ready to get some feedback, but not in a place where we're ready to kind of open it to the public in general, right? I mean, that big public opening, that is us going early access. That's the early access launch. That's happening at the end of 2024, hopefully in November. So almost a year and a month from now, right?
I'm gonna kill you.
But the closed alpha is kind of like a sign up. So it's not right now. There's nothing is up right now. Nothing is open right now for you to sign up. But at some point, we are going to announce that, hey, we are we've opened the sign up for the closed alpha. So you will fill out some kind of form, or I don't remember exactly how we did that with the original DRG, but we also had this process, right? And then we will select from all these signups. We'll grab a bunch of people. I don't have exact numbers right now how many it will be, but I mean, if you're talking about the percentage of the community, I mean, if you're talking about the DRG community, I mean, I'm very happy to say we are a very large community. So yes, it will be a very small percentage. And again, like especially in the beginning, we will need this group to be big enough so that we can actually get like a decent broad idea of how what people think about what we're making on, and get kind of suggestions and ideas from that. Of course, what is happening in closed alpha will be visible externally, right? It's just more about how many people get their hands on this, and how many people are we gonna kind of further focus on what they're saying, because they've now had a chance to play. So we really want to pay attention to their experience, and also get some statistics out of it. Like what where they're dying, all these kind of stuff that help us to kind of combine these statistical information about how people play versus how people talk about how they play, and we use both. So I guess it's kind of qualitative, quantitative stuff. I don't know. I'm not a statistician. I barely passed high school. Go to school, kids.
One requirement though for the test will be that you are not supposed to have left a mean comment on Reddit.
Taking out antenna node.
Well, dude,
That disqualifies you now, doesn't it, Jakob?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna play it. I've already played it. I know it's good.
But that's the closed alpha, and then the idea is that as we go further along, we will expand the closed alpha group. So just because if you don't get into the first round, you will get later on, as we kind of get to a place where we want more and more people to kind of stress test the game, and also people drop out and all sorts of stuff, right? But that's the closed alpha.
Oh, that's
just really quickly, I know we addressed it earlier in the stream, but just for posterity, because people keep asking, is ROCKPOX gonna last for all the way through season 4, all the way until next summer? Very likely not. None of us here want ROCKPOX for that long either. We don't have an exact plan for what we're gonna do about it, but yeah, we're gonna tone it down for sure, because we hear you loud and clear, and the prevailing opinion within GSG also is that nobody wants 8 months of that. So
no, but but I think also, to be super clear and not to raise expectations, or probably like we are not like somehow going to be ending season 4 halfway through or things like that. So critical corruption is we're here with critical corruption until season 5. Definitely until next year, but we are definitely going to look into ways to like reduce the pain that the annoyance. I mean, yeah, like Aaron said, it's not ideal, but just so you don't expect that like, oh, we're gonna necessarily do something. We're gonna do our best within the time limit without kind of sabotaging our own timeline and time like schedule, right? Because again, everything takes time.
I see a question repeating a lot in Discord here. For the next season, in season 5, would we consider updating these perk system, either progression or perk balance, or what?
Yes, we've been talking about that a lot, and that's very much on the table. Again, we haven't sat down and said, okay, so kind of now post Rogue Core announcement, and with the timeline that we have now, what is going into season 5? We have not gone through that process yet. But a perk overhaul, whatever that means, because we also internally have different, like we need to get on the same page. But that is very much on the table. Yeah. As is, for example, a new mission type.
A new mission type as well.
We've been prototyping, but again, this is like with like everybody has to keep in mind that this is not me saying new mission type in season 5.
Progress.
Mike.
These are the things on the table. We'll need to select them and figure it out. But like these are the things we want, right? As well.
It's too late, Mike. It's 100% guaranteed.
100% guaranteed.
100% guaranteed.
You have awakened the community.
You get 800% value.
Mike, what can you say right now about the mission type that you're prototyping?
Yeah, okay. I could say one thing and one thing only, because I do not like. I don't like talking about things when they are in such an early place, especially with DRG, which is like, I mean, again, in a different place than Rogue Core is going to be once, or already is. DRG is a product people are buying, like, and there's very often like, you know, things go out and then people hear one thing and they're like, oh, this is happening, and then like some months later it's different and they're like, what the hell, why is this like so. So until things are actually like decided, I don't want to share. But we are like a big focus here, and this I'm happy to commit to for like the next mission that we would do would be to make the mission more freeform and less kind of intrinsically structured. So again, more like, you know, egg hunt or mining expedition than industrial sabotage or
Escort.
Or escort. Exactly, right. Those are like. I mean, escort is the most linear we have, but yeah, it's, again, looking to, you know, gameplay feel and flow more similar to those. I think we're totally ready for that.
God damn, what an info dump we're getting, Mike.
Oof,
Yeah.
I know,
You're
my
spoiling us.
mouth hurts.
Yeah,
I know.
Mark, you need to recut this so we can use it, so we don't have to answer all this again.
Yeah, Mike, have you been writing everything down? I just kind of figured you would be.
Yeah.
Dude.
Nope. What?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Can you share the script, Mike?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we have a community member writing it all down, right?
We do.
Yeah, when it
I
gets
hope
the
so.
time, I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, you have
Good
a
luck
video.
with this episode.
I think it's usually a shorter and dumber questions.
Yeah, I know. Usually it's me talking about favorite foods and then Jakob and Mark arguing, but this time we have more real information. That
Yeah, I think Aaron's book recommendation mentioned this time, and recommendation is basically what Mike just said on a piece of paper.
Nice. Another question. Any ideas for the Rogue Core soundtrack yet?
Oh,
So, I mean, this is much more Mikkel's realm than mine. Mikkel's the game director, by the way. So, I don't know what exactly he imagines.
it's My Chemical Romance. We're getting the band to do My Chemical Romance. Is going to be doing the soundtrack. You heard it here first.
Question. Will we get more friendly common in every cave creatures? Like
More what?
Like more creatures like loot bugs.
Oh,
It feels kind of empty in the cave sometimes that aren't that much. Yeah. So, I mean, we don't have any like planned, but it's always cool to have those, and they add a lot to the caves. So, I'll keep your question in mind. I do not know how to play banjo, Heindorf. Wait, that's honest.
It is.
Question. DRG sessions often last very long. Is Rogue Core going to be an easier pop in and pop out game to play? No. I think so. When you say DRG, it's also a question of what you mean by DRG sessions, right? So DRG missions.
Subjective what people want to commit to in game time as well.
Totally. But and again, like you know, we need to explore this together with all of you when the time comes to that, to exactly find, like, you know, a good balance of you know, run duration. But right now, kind of my starting point is that I'm seeing runs potentially go from a minimum of 30 minutes for like a successful run to a maximum of 90 minutes. So this is you know, a bit more than an average mission in DRG, though not that much more, though of course depends on the mission, and of course depends on the people playing it. And you know, a bit longer than a deep dive on the long end. But how many of those you do in a session, of course, is up to you. And same thing with DRG, right? When you talk about sessions, I mean, again, a mission in DRG is on average about 20 minutes. So, so Rogue Core would have a longer.
Oh, the other one is up there, Jesus.
Question: will the Glyphid Rammer from the board game expansions come to DRG in Season 5 or to Rogue Core?
No.
It will not. It will not. And the Rammer concept, while is super cool for the board game, is something that we've actually tried in DRG a long time ago. And the end result was the Kroner Shellback. Because having enemies run in a straight line in DRG looks weird, so we need them to roll.
We just like parkour.
Yeah.
Fix it.
Sorry. Question: is there any strategy to announce early access over a year in advance for Rogue Core? So this
Strategy.
is kind of strategy. Oh.
Ghost Ship Games.
What
Buddy, you got the wrong stream.
No, but it's kind of like Mikkel said in the stream as well. The reason we're doing it this early, and this is pretty early, I think, like, you know, for the industry or something like that, is because besides doing early access, we also want to, like, the run up to early access to, like, actually have our development open. And you know, we can't do that without this announcement. We needed to be in a place where we you know, could really commit to what we are announcing, and that's where we are now. But it's early, so that, you know, so that we can be having these discussions. You know, we already have suggestions and talks on our Discord. We have 2 channels there now dedicated to Rogue Core. Go check them out if you haven't. We have a Rogue Core subreddit set up. We can also post stuff. So that's already going. And this process, I mean, it's an amazing process, right? It's I love it. I think I'm so happy to be able to, like, share this this early on, to not you know, have to hide it or pretend it's not there, or to just keep it to ourselves, because I mean,
It's been painful.
It's been painful. We are fans of DRG, and we are super excited about this. And I mean, yes, we're fans of the game we made.
We're coming, Johan.
Also, I think our approach to like early access is also that when the time comes for early access, it will be a fully playable and polished game that you can dive into.
Correct. What we will be adding in early access is more content. Of course, there'll be, you know, potential changes and things like that. But I mean, again, like, it's not like it is content that we will be adding. Potentially new systems if there comes a need for it, right? But the game as we see it now, like, all systems will be in as much as we can for this to be an actual playable game in early access.
You okay up there, Johan?
No.
No, he's not. Question: is somebody making a smoothie in the background?
That is construction work next door. Or maybe Aaron below my house.
Yeah, it's definitely construction across the street.
Get up!
Sorry. Question: can we get some more loadout slots, please? Also, rock and stone. Man, you guys never get enough. We keep adding them, and you keep asking for more. I don't know. Maybe.
Somebody asked, what's the ramrod as a hub going to look like? So the ramrod's still both not as figure of speech, but game mechanics wise, definitely under construction. Still figuring out sort of the layout, what it's going to look like. We do have a like untextured kind of draft. Ooh, hold on, I'm getting fucked up by bugs. By Rockpox, speaking of the devil. I am anyway. The ramrod is still like under construction, taking shape. Just the other week we drafted. There are plans for a dance floor. We can say that much. At least the current version of it does have a dance floor included. And I don't really know what else you need to know if you know that. So
I think from what I've seen,
it's a different kind of dance floor, though.
Yeah, that's true. A slightly different dance floor. But actually, I think probably also new dances. So that's the real hard-hitting news. I remember, like, from the walkthrough, we can't quite show like videos of that yet, or honestly, they just look like super rough right now. But we will show, like, you know, I personally would love to do an article of like looking at the ramrod under construction and the layout of it. But right now, I sort of imagine it's like. Yeah, honestly, the run through I saw of it looks a little bit of the. Is it the Nostromo, the ship from Alien? Kind of gives me those vibes.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that's super cool about it is that it's a spaceship and not a space station similar to the space rig, right? Yes. So maybe that can get your imagination going.
At least from the concepts that I've seen, it's a bit more like cramped. It's more like you're on a ship, right?
Yeah, that's the idea, right? Because that's the story.
Like there's a bit less high ceilings and more cramped and claustrophobic.
Hey, look who it is, folks. We got a new guest dropping into the GSG Friday stream, and it's Game Director, Chief Creative Officer, Mikkel Martin Peterson. What's up, Mikkel?
Can't hear you.
Heard you talking, and I thought I would join the party.
Hey.
Hell yeah, man. What's going on?
Not much. I'm just being entertained, and I learn a lot about what's going on with roll call.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the stream yesterday, but GSG's got a new game coming out.
They do.
Yeah, it's gonna be sweet, dude.
Well, cool. I was, I mean, I think I heard my name come up a few times.
Ooh, Anas is also here.
It's a party.
It's a party. And Anas is gone.
Alright, Anas got shy.
Rolling.
Anas probably thought we were having a discussion or something like that.
Yeah, Mikkel, are there any questions that you've been hearing that you wanted to add anything on, or add to, or to the folks in the chat? Is there anything that you guys want to specifically ask Mikkel?
Oh, wait,
So I heard you talk about the soundtrack, right? And it's definitely something that you will, or I will start looking into. And I think it is. I mean, doing a soundtrack is super cool, right? But I need to sort of like work on what kind of music and find like the right angle for it. And so it's very early days on a new soundtrack, and I'm just beginning to look into it.
Hopefully it will be just as awesome as in DRG.
That is my plan.
Good plan.
Mikkel, somebody in Twitch asks, why is Mikkel such a cool dude?
I think Mike has to answer that.
Okay, boss. The bug starts here.
Yeah, all of us have to go through one by one and ask.
Make a, what do you call it, like an essay.
Can I go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
It's his super deep voice, I think.
Maybe we should take another question.
Hey, I don't know if you guys fucking forgot about me. I'm still downed up here. I've been hanging out here down start of the goddamn event.
Aaron, no, we didn't.
Question: will mission control be in Rogue Core? Mikkel, you wanna take a stab at that?
I think that is actually something that we haven't worked out yet. It is might be.
Mikkel, can I do a voice?
Oh.
Oh. Damn it.
So, but I think there's something about the whole way about going into these mines, deep mining facilities, and they've been lost, and there's no contact into them, and yeah, I don't know exactly how we're gonna handle like a mission control, but I think Mike, we agreed, right, that we need sort of like a mission controller voice.
Yes.
It is not necessarily the mission control that we are gonna bring in here, but it's basically undecided yet.
But then again, Robert.
I think
it's hard.
we shouldn't.
It's hard to chat.
So basically, I think we shouldn't underestimate how important mission control is in generating this sense of playing a co-op game. Right, because he's really like informing you what is going on, and so in that sense, I think we really need him.
I don't know why we started it when no one was there and we were two people dead up. Oh shit.
Mark was there, so you should take it up with him.
Wow, good landing there, Johan.
Yeah, you didn't see anything.
Oh, come on.
I was running on autopilot for a moment.
Yeah. Another question. Is there going to be a story in Rogue Core?
Yeah, so there's a story just like there is a story in Deep Rock Galactic, and that means that we are creating sort of like a universe situation you participate,
That's deep.
but not a story in the sense of I don't know, Last of Us, that there's a beginning and a middle and an end.
It's more like lots of world building, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think so in Deep Rock Galactic, right, you're not the hero, you're just a miner going to work every day, right? And then we are doing everything we can to tell that story. And I think we will try to do the same thing for Rogue Galactic, where we will sort of set this situation that you work as this elite team of Dwarven reclaimers, and then do a lot of things that will support you feeling in the shoes of a reclaimer. I don't know, I hope it makes sense. Oh.
Hold
Question.
on, we're deep into a fight here.
Are you interested in adding more diegetic UI elements to Rogue, or what does diegetic
What does that mean?
Diegetic is like
That's
a
like-
storage thing, right? In world.
Is that like in-world UI, or
Yeah.
Alright, Encyclopedia Brown over here.
Yeah, he says yes. So if you're talking about stuff like, for example, the core infuser, right, where it's like popping up kind of holograms, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, we use stuff like that where it makes sense. I think, but I mean, it's not like we have it planned, but we're interested to add it if it makes sense.
I'm thinking more about like the weapon HUD, like you can see how much ammo you have in the weapons just by looking at the weapon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I definitely think we're gonna keep doing stuff like that where it makes sense.
Yes. But in terms of, are we gonna like currently take something that is somewhere else and put it as such? There's no plans for that.
Have you guys talked about the processor drone that we're working on?
A little
really.
bit, but people come in and out. So you wanna talk about it?
No, because I just really think that this processor drone and how we are using that in the gameplay is gonna actually be an important player. I mean, it's gonna affect the gameplay a lot.
How's that?
And I think so. I mean, one of the things that that we are gonna go for is that, for example, when you mine this mineral called Exponite, right? And when you have mined sufficient materials, then you dump them into this processor drone. And then all players need to stand around the processor drone, and then you can enter the upgrade screen. And this just this mechanic that I just described here, that is gonna demand a certain amount of coordination between the players, right? Like when are we ready to go to the drone? All of us. When are we teaming up there to get the upgrade, and so on? And I think that is gonna be interesting. Then the processor drone will also have, as the design is right now, have other purposes, right? It will help the players as you go along, right? I mean, it will help you unlock crates, or I mean, it's a smart little drone that will just support the team of reclaimers.
Are we ready to start?
Yeah, let's do it.
Question: are the main dwarves still alive in the Rogue Core timeline? Yes, they are.
They are still going to work every day. They are still going in and mining.
Just because the core is gone wrong doesn't
They're
mean the
still
other
doing
guys get
seasonal updates.
some sort of holiday or whatever. Come on. Company's still got to make money.
Question: can maintenance updates include quality of life things such as adding more loadouts or sprint by default?
Yeah, I think it.
They could.
I think it.
But
Totally
they won't necessarily. So I mean, again, like it's very important that like until we say what is coming in that update, like it very much depends on the time that we have and kind of the state of rogue core, therefore how much time we can allocate to that update, and also what is needed, right? So kind of again, like I was talking a lot of thought right now is going into experiences with Rockbox and the pain points that like long-time veterans have for that, and can we address this in a way that has no negative impact on other groups?
Will Rogue Core look like Deep Rock, but roguelike, or will it be a bit different?
I think so. As it stands right now, and I doubt it would change, but you never know. But again, highly doubt it. So I think the art style of the world is gonna stay the same.
Yeah, the cave tech sort of demands certain things from the rest of the art style, right?
Exactly. Although it could be pushed, right? But I think it's also it's nice not to. And part of this is, of course, it is still very much a DRG game, right? It is not like some other game that, like, I mean, it is a DRG game in the sense that it's in that universe. It's sometimes weird to say that. So I think that the visual style will stay the same, but things like the UI elements and things like that, I think that is prime for. I mean, we need different things from these elements. And so it totally makes sense to also redesign them, as you can see already on what little we have. You can see it on the Steam store page.
I think another also thing to add there is, like, obviously there's new game mechanics and stuff, but the control scheme and controlling the player is going to be quite similar. Which is to say, like, if you're good at, I don't know if that's maybe a weird term to use for Deep Rock, but like if you know how to move around and fight in Deep Rock, that's going to translate a lot to Rogue Core.
Yes, definitely.
Rock and roll!
Question, will there be items or anything similar to perk or power up? Yes, there will be items. So as you go in and as you go through the lost dig sites, going deeper and deeper towards the core of it, you will find equipment that includes weapons, that includes deployables, that includes consumables, that includes reversal tools, all that kind of stuff. There will be upgrades or power-ups that you are getting from your processing drone. So this is what the Exmonite, this very precious mineral, it has. It's like you're able to use it for a lot of stuff. Kind of like, I mean, it's powerful in that sense. Like, and so you're using that to create upgrades, all that stuff. So you are growing in power and you're upgrading stuff, and then you can tweak this stuff and all of that in our own way.
Be right back. I'll use the restroom.
Question, will we get a loot bug pet system where you can smuggle a loot bug exclusively to your own rig and take it? No.
And can we put a hat on that loot bug, Mike?
Is this the petting zoo again? I feel a petting zoo creeping in. Another question, will we be getting new cave assets in DRG from Rogue Core? So kind of as I said before, some things will make sense for us to move between the two games. I see much more of it going the other way, at least as things stand right now. So if we were to add a new biome or some new Hox's enemies to Deep Rock Galactic, it would totally make sense to also potentially shift that over to Rogue Core. But Rogue Core itself is focusing, unlike Deep Rock Galactic, which is kind of like this broad, you're mining on Hox's and you're doing all that stuff. Rogue Core is focusing very much on stuff that is happening inside these lost mining operations. And as such, kind of the things that we add to it in and of themselves won't necessarily make sense just to add to DRG. However, it is Rogue Core is proving to also be a very interesting kind of test bed for mechanics and stuff like that. So I could totally see some of the stuff we do in Rogue Core then inspiring things we do in DRG, but in a way that makes sense for DRG. Right? And of course, bug fixes and stuff like that would be able to move across, but it's not super duper easy. So it's not just like a push of a button kind of thing, but it is possible at the moment. Perhaps later on they will separate so far that it will become completely impossible.
But I think the fact that they are set on the same planet at the same time makes I mean, there's just a lot of things that would make sense where we do crossovers between
100%.
100%. And I think season 5 will be the very first example of that, right? Because we are planning season 5 to have a theme that is sort of like, sort of like setting the events that are taking place in book.
Drop sequence initiating.
Question: is solo play going to be worked on in season 5? Bosco, Perks, etc. So, I mean, when you say worked on, I'm not sure what you mean. So as I said, like a perk, us poking at the perks and overhauling them, or at least tweaking stuff around there, is totally on the table as something that could go into season 5. This, of course, involves perks as they affect single player. And as they affect multiplayer. Likewise with Bosco, I mean, we don't have any big plans with him. I remember at some point we were talking about this whole thing of changing the way Bosco provides light. I don't know if that's gonna go on that table for season 5. But other than that, I mean, if it's bug fixes and stuff like that, that's just always on the table. Right?
Samples they're preparing for extraction, destroy their facilities, and show them that Hoxie's is DRG property.
Question: what kind of voices are the new dwarves going to have? Mikkel, do you have a?
They're gonna have dwarf voices.
Oh.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. I'm starting. I see what you're doing there. All right.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Ton of... Mikkel, have you talked? I mean, as far as voice stuff, have you talked to Javier, the voice of the original? Do you have any thoughts of it's going to be him, or any sort of strategy there so far?
I think I'm gonna reuse Javier. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's. I think that is. Yeah.
That is the sound of Dwarf.
I think he has done a tremendous job on voicing all the dwarves for Deep Rock Galactic, and I really like working with him.
For those of you who don't know, when we say Javier, it's the guy Javier who has voiced all 4 dwarves for Deep Rock Galactic.
So, another question. Regarding Mikkel's information earlier, the team coordination to stand near the processor drone for upgrades seems like it could be a potential source of griefing frustration between teammates. If I'm understanding this correctly, is this correct? Yes, it is a potential point of friction, but at the same time, you can't really cooperate as a team. Like the joy and the fun of a multiplayer game, you have to also be aware of the other players. They have to matter. If they don't matter, if you're just playing, you might as well be alone, kind of thing, right? Then it doesn't work. It is a balance, right? And these pain points and these friction points are something that we have to identify, and we have to, always look at and design around. But we definitely don't want to actually remove all of them. Just as yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just totally agree, Mike. And I think that if you look at Deep Rock Galactic, DRG, you will also see that we have a lot of friction points. And for example, one of the first things people need to understand is when they call down a supply pod, right? All the ammunition is just not for me. I mean, you need to share it with your teammates, right? But you can actually take it all if you're not considering your fellow dwarves. And I just think that is just super important, because these friction points is also where you actually can show as a player that you care for your teammates. And in that regard, I think it is super important. And I think very quickly, if you want to play the game, you will also play along with the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's never going to be any way to like grief-proof a game, so
I love this grappling hook.
people are always going to find some way to do it. But yeah, you bring up a good point that there's the same, and I think it's something also where we have to. I think it's a lot about community building too, to make sure even the features, although if misused, could be a source of it. Also, that the game has enough other mechanics and sort of community mood around it to incentivize people to not abuse it.
But I think I really think people are not, or players who play Deep Rock Galactic are not really considering how many friction points we have. For example, another example in Deep Rock Galactic is traversal tools. I mean, you as a player can go in and you can be an engineer and you cannot use your platform gun. Then you will have handicap the scout, right? Or I mean, and vice versa with the drills and so on. So I think we already have these mechanics where you can deliberately grief the team if you want to, but you
Most
don't.
prominent one would be friendly fire, probably.
Yeah, friendly fire is something that I also was like, we need friendly fire because it makes you care for your teammates, right? And the dwarves say it hurts when you shoot them. So, I mean, you understand that they are made of flesh and blood. We also, contrary to other co-op games, we also have collisions on the dwarves, right? So you can block each other's way, which is not something, I mean, other co-op games try to be completely frictionless. But I also think they have a tendency to become a little bit boring because they don't dare
Real quick,
having these co-op mechanics. Yeah.
real quick, speaking of juiced platforms, Mark, can you put some platforms over there so I can go and drop C4 on the top of the... Alright.
Oh, you should kick him first, Aaron.
What?
He's not doing his job.
Yeah, Mark, I'm reporting you for abuse.
It was
Sorry, dude.
AFK though.
I said I would be though.
Yeah,
I
eventually.
warned you all. Should have waited. And I also have to leave soon. I'll even leave early, probably.
Raider.
Question: are there any plans on releasing Rogue Core on Game Pass?
No, that is we are way too early here to put any thoughts into this. But I mean, you can look at Deep Rock Galactic and see where that is, and then you can do your own guesstimates. I think we really like to have the game and the flexibility that Steam provides us for early development of the game. We really appreciate that. And I think whenever we have multiple platforms to support, it is taking more time. It is a bit more complicated for us to just go crazy with adding updates and features into the game because so it is we're not looking at a Game Pass deal from the get-go.
That's also something Microsoft actually has to approach you about, right?
Exactly. So obviously we could also tell them what we're doing, right? But
They can watch the stream.
I'm pretty sure they are.
Miguel, somebody asks, aren't you afraid that having, or rather, are you concerned that having two games in the same world will make it difficult to preserve coherence between the lore and the big picture?
I think he has to dig in that direction.
Yeah. But I think this is also why it's super exciting. But obviously it's also challenging. But I like challenging things. So I don't know.
Can you dig to the power station, Aaron?
Yeah.
Question: how frequent are the new individual maintenance updates going to be, and will they become a permanent part of the update cycle? So you can see them on the roadmap. We have a roadmap. So if you go to the DRG Steam page, there's a roadmap there. And right now there are 2 planned on that roadmap.
Mark.
So there'll be 2 before Season 5 drops. One will be around November, coming up pretty soon, and the other one will be, I believe, around March.
Yeah, that'll do.
Again, this is a living roadmap, and it may change. Probably will. But that's all we have planned right now, right? I mean, and then whether or not they will stay, I mean, it depends. We're not thinking that far ahead.
I think maybe we should also add to this, right? That I mean, if you have been playing Deep Rock Galactic for a long time, you know that we are doing a lot of holiday events, and we are totally gonna continue doing that. And so, I mean, it's not a season 5, right? But I mean, there's still stuff happening.
Yeah,
with ROCK GALACTIC.
That is in the roadmap. It's down at the bottom, and yeah, but it's. I think I've had seen a number of comments. People asking if the Halloween update is happening. Yes, the Halloween update is finished and will be announced soon. And you know, same with usual stuff of Christmas and Lunar New Year and all that stuff. But again, I guess we took a decision not to like emphasize that too much in the roadmap, just because people would, I think, maybe get upset about us like kind of trying to like use that to soften the blow of Season 5 being so delayed. But yes, they are happening, just as usual.
A few more of these and
And we got some cool hats, as always.
Love hats.
We love hats. If there's one thing we love to put on our heads, it's hats.
Question, will DRG ever do a collaboration with another IP? As an example, DRG collaborating with Terraria, as both games take most playtimes in caves and both have amazing development.
I think, I mean, what is a collaboration, right? We had this crossover event with Power Wash, right? So,
did we?
I mean,
we did.
Oh, cool.
Like so as a social media thing, right? So we already did this to some extent, right? So,
I think I'm referring to like an in-game thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it really depends. I think so. I mean, I think that's basically the style in ROCK GALACTIC is very distinct, right? And I'm not sure that if you took Mario and put him into ROCK GALACTIC, that it would fit very well.
Frederick could make it work.
Mario 64.
Yeah, it's very true. maybe Mario 64. But I don't know. No one has approached us with the idea that we should do a crossover.
Question, will the Ramrod have a bar?
We are thinking about this and how to handle it.
I mean, they are dwarves, right? So we just need to find a way to get beer in them. Whatever that is.
Maybe we could have the soldiers homebrewing their own.
just a row of toilets.
Yeah, they're making like they're distilling alcohol like Navy sailors drank like torpedo juice in World War II.
Torpedo juice.
I don't know. I'm still gonna tell them about my idea with the bar.
Yeah,
tell them.
Yes, Miguel. This is the.
This is a bit. Okay, so I have this idea that I mean, they are on this high-tech spaceship, right? And the reclaimers they are tougher, right? They are more military. So if they are not like as silly as the dwarves, they're still dwarves though. But so they cannot just like go and buy beers, right? And we don't, as right now we're not planning to have credits or a currency that you can actually buy beer for. So I had this idea that we would do like a fitness area where you could pump some iron. So and then those physical exercises you could perform would be tied to the bar. So it's like go and do 10 pull-ups and a beer will be served to you. No pain, no gain.
Only protein shakes.
And then I was sort of like thinking, I think it could be super cool that when after a run, the whole team of 4 dwarves run straight to the fitness and start pumping iron, lifting, bench pressing, and then they hit the bar afterwards.
That's literally what Mark and I are doing after work.
Yeah, but then something like what you do.
I like that. I would love a gym to have the dwarves just.
But there's something. Yeah, I don't know. We have a lot of deals, but we also want to like try to give ROCK its own angle on a lot of things. So it's not just a copy paste of the space rig, right? And I know you talked about that we were working on the layout of the Ramrod, and I think we are taking some design things into consideration when we're doing it, right? Because there's the space rig and a spaceship, and they are they're very different in this sense of like how we are shaping the spaces, right? And I think when we're doing a spaceship, we have a lower ceiling, right? Not as it's tighter spaces that you move around in, and you get more like a U-boat, a submarine feeling when you move around in it. So yeah, the internal parts of a spaceship, like for example Firefly or the Millennium Falcon, is something that we have been looking at, right? Obviously, right?
Mikkel, I see a good lore question in Twitter. Somebody asks, is a reclaimer just a different type of Deep Rock Galactic employee? Could a DRG employee eventually become a reclaimer, or are they a separate corporation that you call to get shit done? Correct me if I'm wrong, is the current plan that, I mean, we don't know how they're recruited, but they are also on DRG payroll, is that correct? Or is that...
Yeah, I think right now we have set there called DRG Reclaimer.
Yeah.
So obviously they are on the payroll, right?
Yeah, but I think it's also like, I mean, we could talk about the size of Deep Rock Galactic, and as a interplanetary mining corporation, like I think maybe.
Here, by the way.
I mean, I guess it's you could, and again, this is all speculative, and none of this is set in stone. But you could think of it like, I don't know, big fruit or like Dole and like massive American industry titans in the turn of the 19th century had like private security forces and police forces and stuff under their employ, and so these of the American Gilded Age, these massive industrialists and stuff did have armed enforcers in a way. So it's we could definitely take
that is basically what we see here. That is very close to what we see here. Yeah, definitely.
I think it's sick. Maybe that's a very fun lore universe to explore.
Yeah, but that's really what we see here. So that's a good description.
Look what I found.
Also, I think
DRG Pinkertons.
DRG Pinkertons.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I mean, yeah. I think that's the place definitely to think about. That's a good way to put it.
Really need some lore about the reclaimers being brought in to break strikes among the miners. Absolutely down to write some stuff about that.
That could be cool.
Are you blind? Look over here.
But will the regular miners ever join the reclaimers? So if you get promoted enough times, you turn into a reclaimer.
The brave, those who show they've got the tenacity to make it.
I think it's more likely that, I mean, if we were talking about this kind of mind lore, whatever, I could imagine that maybe a new miner might get recruited, but not a veteran. Because a veteran has become a miner, right? I mean, I think there's a big difference between somebody who's digging dirt for a living and somebody who is muscle.
Yeah, I think there's also maybe something about like if you really get in the miner's mindset and you join the ranks, you've got too much like worker solidarity to like sell out and join the reclaimers. You've heard too many stories about other miners getting their jaws broken by reclaimers during labor movements and stuff like that. But if you apply for the company and you're like, you seem like you have a power complex and you're good at following orders.
The other thing is that you never let go on the best miners, right? So if you are a really experienced miner, right, DRG would do anything in their power to keep you mining.
Except when the timer runs out on the drop pod. See you, sucker. Video games, am I right?
Yeah, video games.
Video games.
Question, will there be reclaimers with different personalities? DRG's classes, different idiosyncrasies, and interactions between them are a big part of their appeal. Do you have anything to say on that at the moment?
I think it's a question, and I don't have a solid answer for it right now. Obviously, what we are saying is that, I mean, you are a reclaimer, right? And then when you go on a mission, you pick a face suit with an ability, and you pick a starting gun. And then you sort of like put on a class like that, right? For example, if you put on a face suit that will make you very tanky, and maybe you have a defense ability where you can defend the team, right? Then you would take that role upon you while you're playing, or it could be a more offensive role, or it could be anything basically. But will it then tie to the character? I'm not sure, because then it would sort of like be alternating the personality of who you are constantly. But it's a good question. I don't have a good answer. But it's definitely something we need to think about how we handle it.
Another question. If the space rig has been abandoned in the Rogue Core storyline, it has not. The space rig is fine. I saw somebody else was writing it looks like it's smoking more than usual in the trailer. I'm not sure if we have any specific reason for that besides you maybe seeing it from a different angle.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It's
space
barbecue
smoke
day at
stats.
the canteen.
Yeah, don't ask about why smoke is kind of going upwards in space. Anyway,
So basically, the Dwarves in Deep Rock Galactic, right? They are still only mining in the outer crust of Foxes, and the reclaimers, they will have to go way deeper. These deep mining operations take place under the levels or the caves of Deep Rock Galactic. And that doesn't mean that now you should go and try to see how deep you can dig in Deep Rock Galactic and see if you can get down to the core.
Yeah, the game's done, and if you dig down for 4 hours, you'll find it.
Don't do that.
Counterpoint, give it a shot.
question: can you turn up the volume of guy talking? One guy.
Yeah, I did it already.
Oh, ooh! It's like you are next to me. In my head, next to the
Behind you, Mike.
Are you guys ready for the fight?
I'm ready, dude.
I'm just gonna get the. Maybe we already have. Maybe there's an extra play card up here. Who knows, man?
Question: can we get a poker table on the space rig in season 10 to camp out minerals and limestone?
I would love something like that.
Honestly, I feel like
by
it makes
season
sense
10.
I feel like it makes sense for the reclaimers to have an arm wrestling table. But then again, that would just be a mash A and D minigame, which I don't think is what people
You love those.
Well,
There are other mechanics we can use.
Yeah, you can mash any button on the keyboard.
It
really.
doesn't have to be a button mash. It doesn't have to be a button.
Maybe a button press instead.
Or a hold E maybe.
Yeah.
Whoever holds it longer. It's a dwarven breath holding contest.
It's like one of those competitions where you need to like keep touching something for the longest time. You have people standing around.
I like that.
It's a Betsy.
The first one to let go of he loses.
Oh wait! They could do the like finger knife game thing.
Yeah.
I think that could be super
like
cool
in
with a pickaxe.
Bishop
Fillet or whatever.
Like in Aliens, right?
Yeah, like
in
exactly like in Aliens. That'd be
But now
such
with a pickaxe.
dude, that'd be such a dwarven thing to do.
With a pickaxe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could hold it.
You don't have knives.
I
you could
have
hold it
all
up.
my fingers.
You could hold it up near the head and just kind of.
Sharp.
Or it'll actually be your friend who's chopping down with a pickaxe. You have to trust him a lot.
Oh, and you need to be the one with most fingers when you're done playing.
Sounds very dwarven.
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
Question: is it true that dinosaurs have been actually in the center of Hoxus this whole time?
What?
I said, Mike, didn't we agree that we wouldn't talk about what was going on in the core Foxes?
That is true. Sorry, we cannot
Have you been
answer
talking
that.
about this?
No, I have not. I don't know where this person got it from.
There's a rainforest cafe in the center of Hoxus. It's a family restaurant.
Question. Were there any outside influences on DRG Rogue Core? If so, what are some of them? I mean,
Like inspiration?
yeah, of course we are completely influenced by the entire Rogue Core genre, right? I mean,
Roguelike.
I need a break.
Inspiration.
I need a break. We're on genre. No, yeah. So the roguelike genre and the.
But I think so obviously, right, and I think on the screen yesterday I mentioned like with Brain Bonfire. We've also been looking at RoboQuest.
Enter the Gungeon.
Into the Gungeon, yeah, and I mean there are multiple action roguelikes. Obviously, you also have like more like Dead Cells, right? But they're more 2D. But I think it is still very. What is appealing to me as a designer is that I think that this is not really established yet how they play out in the next couple. And I think we have a lot of room here to evaluate and innovate, which I think is really appealing.
Johan, what are you doing, man? You're done.
I'm increasing Mikkel's audio even more.
But what does it cost?
Everything.
I can move a little bit closer to my microphone. Is that better?
I think it's fine. It's fine on my end.
All right.
I think it's.
Question: will ROCK Core release for PlayStation at the same time or PC first, like DRG did? So, I mean, Mikkel, like you said before, right now it is way too early for us to even like start thinking about consoles or anything besides doing early access on Steam, which is the place where we can do early access.
And I think I just wanna. I mean, this is again something we talked a bit about on the stream yesterday, but with both of the games that we are publishing and our own games, we want to go out way earlier than you see other games. Other games are announced like 3 months before they launch or something like that. Then probably a lot of them gets delayed, right? But we are just upfront saying we are very early in development. We don't. I mean, we're basically showing you what we got, and from here we are building the game, right? And then that's the journey. And that is just very different from when you see other games being announced, and that's why we are still a long way into the future before we're ready to launch.
I'm taking some of the ammo. Yeah, give me some sugar. Let's stick together for a
And yeah, that also means that PlayStation 5 is not something we have even considered yet. How and when we will.
Mark!
I was killed immediately after I got revived.
Oh, man.
Question: will we ever see an uptick in rival activity in ROCK Core or in DRG? It's possible.
Rival?
Yeah, or like the rivals from season 1.
Right. The robots.
Yeah. I mean, it could happen if
we bring the
makes sense and we got some new mechanics we'd like to play around with, and rivals are kind of like the best theme for those mechanics. That would totally make sense.
We are also already planning to bring Rockbox back.
Too soon, Mikkel.
You shut your damn mouth.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Question: will rivals be seen in the core? I think where we are right now, that doesn't maybe make too much sense. And I think again, seasonal content of DRG maybe isn't the best fit for ROCK Core, as opposed to like the more general content like biomes and just generic enemies.
No, but I think, for example, you could have, I mean, the rivals, right? They could also affect the deep mining operations. I think that is what the question is. And in that regard, I actually think that you could have rivals in the mining operations. Yeah. But again, right now where we are in the development, we are still trying to figure out like the basic in and outs of ROCK Core, and sort of like creating the foundation of where we will take the game, and then we will expand on it, right? And getting this foundation also means like cutting off all the fat and sort of like really try to find out and what is the core of ROCK.
Question: is the Halloween event coming soon? Yes, it's already in there.
Yeah, I think I'll be. I don't know the exact release date, but I'll be working on that announcement article quite soon. Probably in time for Halloween.
I think that's a stretch.
Pardon me, Halloween 2024.
Question: since DRG Survivor is made by Funday Games, is the development of the game being supervised / directed by you guys? I guess meaning Ghost Ship Games or Ghost Ship Publishing.
No, I think we are supervising. I think is the key word here. I am spending like not every week, but bi-weekly, I'm spending like an hour or 1.5 hour with the guys playing the game and giving feedback on the whole thing. And so is Søren, our CEO at Go Ship Games. And basically, we are just really want to ensure that we create the best Deep Rock experience in Deep Rock Survivor, the best experience that we can. Make sure that you, the fans of Deep Rock Galactic, will find stuff in Survivor that you like and hold dear.
Did I hear a rockin' stone?
Stop it.
So, question. Will Rockcore have something like the build inspector mod where you can see what your teammates have equipped? With the removal of classes, it seems like it's a gamble to expect. Yes, it actually, we already have that in the prototype. To an extent. So right now you don't see the entire build of your teammates, but you definitely see what they have at the start. And I think being able to inspect your teammates, and kind of like, especially during the negotiation phase and stuff like that, makes a lot of sense as you're talking about who should get what and stuff like that.
And you were also there when they picked that thing, right?
Yes, yeah, of course. What they're picking, yeah, but it's more like about seeing what they already have. Definitely their weapon and their reclaimer weapon and their face suit. You see straight from the beginning.
But I think one of the challenges that we will want to tackle with Rogue Core, and I'm not sure we can tackle it as good as we do in Deep Rock Galactic, but the thing about having randoms play together and being able to play the game without actually chatting, voice chatting, I think is something that I would really like to see if we can actually pull that off. Obviously, there are more challenges in doing it with Rogue Core than there is in Deep Rock Galactic, but I think it's a nice design to have. And obviously, what I'm trying to say is, it means that we obviously need to provide all relevant information to the players, also about each other.
Right.
Rock and stone, says the chat. Rock and stone.
Is it about that time we find somebody to raid?
It is.
Cool. Well, we are, Johan and Jakob are cooking up some unsuspecting victim of the 250 strong Ghost Ship Games Twitch raid. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. This has been the GSG Friday stream, and a special big thanks to Mike and Mikkel for tapping in. It's been, especially this one's been really, really fun to hear everybody's questions and see all this curiosity around Rogue Core and Season 5, and just to talk about that. But you can definitely expect, I've been taking notes on this in my second monitor, and you can expect a lot more writing in the coming weeks on their blog page about, answering some FAQs, announcements on updates, especially both including the November patch as well as Halloween, and then just fun stories about what's under development, like sneak peeks at what we're working on with Rogue Core. So lots more to come. Once again, thanks for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun.
Bye-bye. Have a nice weekend, everyone.
Yep.
See you guys.
The raid is ready, Johan.
Hope you enjoyed.
Alrighty, it's raid time. Rock and freaking stone miners. We will catch you next week.
Boop.
Boop, boop.